You have an oversharing problem in SharePoint, but do you truly know how bad the problem is? I'm talking about shared with anyone links, or broken inheritance on document libraries, folders, files, or SharePoint sites that have been shared with the everyone except external users group, meaning everyone in the business has access to that information. In this video, I'm not only going to show you how to identify those problems, I'm going to show you how to fix them. As well as that, I'm also going to show you how to prevent them from happening again in the future. I'm currently working with a client who wants to deploy Copilot to their business, and they're very concerned that sensitive information is going to fall into the wrong hands just with a simple prompt to Copilot. I shared with them a story from a previous customer who had the exact same problem. They jumped straight into using Copilot, and someone was able to surface the salary of their CEO just by asking the question. Now, this isn't because Copilot is magic or it's hacking into the back end of some system. It's simply just going to surface the information that the employee that's using Copilot already has access to. In that scenario, that customer was actually a growing company. They started off with just a handful of employees with one Microsoft team, and they stored everything in there. All their HR information, all the finance information, all their intellectual property information, everything was just in one place. However, as the company grew, they did actually build out more teams. So they had a finance team, an IT team, a HR team, everything they needed. However, they didn't go back and lock down that original team area that was shared with everyone in the organization. And that original team area had, for example, a HR spreadsheet with all the original employees of the business, their home address, their salary, all of that type of information. So that meant later down the line, when they deployed Copilot and one of their newer employees asked, what's the salary of our CEO? Surface that information because the employee had access to it. Now, my current client shares this same concern and they just don't know what to do. So I looked at this for them and said, well, there's not really any Microsoft 365 native features which help to identify at a granular level these oversharing problems. So what I've been doing is going out and researching third-party tools that'll help identify these problems and also fix them. This is where ShareGate Protect comes in, and it has a wide range of different tools that I think are really useful, and I'm going to show you exactly how they work. So when you log into ShareGate Protect, this is the overview section, and you can see the amount of SharePoint sites you have, the groups, the teams, the OneDrives, how many active users, and also a total storage space for all your SharePoint and team sites combined. There is a bunch of other cool features that's worth sort of checking out as well, how to reduce costs and things like that. But what we're most interested in is this preventing oversharing area. Now, when I go into this area, you can see it's starting to identify, using kind of like RAG status, like red, amber, green, what are the most concerning things versus things we should probably look at versus things which are not really that important right now, but we should probably get to later down the line. And you can see it's identified we have 4 users who have excessive amounts of direct permissions. It's identified 45 workspaces that can be accessed by everyone except external users. Now, this is something which is very concerning because in reality, yes, that group should be used, but usually it's only used for like 1, maybe 2 sites, depending on the size of the organization. Typically, you'll have inside your SharePoint environment a hub site, which is almost like the single source of truth, the main landing spot, the top of your intranet, where everything else is then navigated to. And fair enough on that space, you might use that everyone except external users because you want it to be easy. You don't have to manually add new employees and onboarding staff into your SharePoint site. You just automatically add them into it. So you'd expect maybe 1 site if it was an enterprise level company and maybe you had multiple hubs for different regions of the world. Maybe you might see 2, 3, 4, 5 different sites using that. But 45, that's a massive red flag. So let's click into that and take a look at what's going on. Now, when you click into this, you do get a bit of a reporting view. So you can see here we've got a bit of a suggestions of things that we could do for restricting the workspace access. But also you can see insight trends. So you can see back in the beginning of June, we only had 43 workspaces that were shared with everyone except external users, but you can see it's starting to increase. So as it's going up, that again is a red flag to me that best practices aren't being followed and we need to get on top of this problem quickly before it escalates even further. When we click on the review workspaces area, this is where we can see all those different SharePoint sites which are using this everyone except external users group. So again, we shouldn't probably have things like the acquisition site. So say, for example, if a company was being bought out or was purchasing another company, you might have a SharePoint site called acquisition and sharing information, potentially even sharing externally as well. And that's fine, but very unlikely that everyone in the organization needs access to that site. We have an all company site. Now, this is what I was saying before. Typically, you would expect to see a SharePoint site as an intranet, as a homepage that's sharing news, announcements, quick links, and other types of useful information that everyone needs access to. So you would expect that to be one of those sites which has everyone except external user SharePoint permission group. There's a whole bunch of other rubbish in here, test teams, things like that you wouldn't expect that would have access. So let's say, for example, if I was to select a particular site, I can then use this bulk actions over here to either choose a certain privacy label, so I could use public or private, I could archive it, or I could choose to delete that if I want to do. So I can click on delete, and you can see here, it's giving me a little prompt say, here's what will happen. All content and user access to the workspace will be immediately removed. Delete workspace can be restored from Microsoft 365 admin. So I say, yes, I understand the risk, and I can delete that workspace. So I can actually say, that's then gone. So that's a test site. Don't need that. Don't need information on that. I can get rid of that completely if I wanted to. If, however, I just wanted to change the permissions for that SharePoint site, so actually rather than using the everyone except external users. So for example, I could see the acquisition site, I think is actually something that would be useful. It's in use. I can click on the site URL and that'll launch that site for me. And I can go into the permissions. I can change that. So either individually add the people who need access, or maybe add a security group, which only has the relevant people that need to access that acquisition SharePoint site. Going back into our insights area then. So I say we've got the 4 users have excessive amount of direct permissions, 44 workspaces that can be accessed by everyone except external users, and we have 147 documents shared using the anyone links. This is something which is very common, that people go to share a specific file with people, but they select the anyone group rather than selecting individual people, which basically means, again, it's available to everyone. Everyone could use this, and also Copilot could potentially surface information because that link has been generated. On here, we can see we've got insight trends. So you can see, again, this is something which is increasing. It's on the up. We can see only a couple of weeks ago, we didn't have any sharing links, starting to increase. So again, with this, we know there's a growing problem. We need to identify, is there any risks? Has any sensitive information already been shared that we need to lock down and fix now? So we're now in the kind of fixing stage. We've identified there are problems. We now need to fix them. Back on this area here, we can click on review sharing links. And this is where we can see a whole list of things which are basically being shared with anyone. Now, of course, there's loads of kind of just rubbish. There's drafts and things like that, which is in here. But actually, when I had a little sneaky look earlier on, I could actually see there was something here which was a job description for a senior engineer. You can also see I've got the link to the file itself down here. So by clicking on that, I can actually launch the actual file and take a look at it. Now, immediately, I see a problem with this document. You can see across the top, the salary range has already been put into the document, and this document could be easily, accessed by Copilot. Someone could type in a question of what is the salary of a senior engineer at this company? And of course, this document has been shared with everyone, which means that anyone could just ask Copilot and that information would be surfaced directly to them. So back on this insights area, you can see I can choose to select that and choose to delete it. Now, this will delete that sharing link. Now, it gives you a prompt, so deleting this link will immediately disable public access for anyone with the URL. Users have permissions-based access to the file will still be able to access it. This does not delete the file. So it's important to mention that it's just the sharing link which is being deleted. So we can see that this file actually lives on the account management SharePoint site. So anyone who's got permissions to that site, as in the site owner, any of the site editors, or even viewers of the site, will still be able to access that file if they navigate to it. And it's not deleting the file, it's just deleting that anyone sharing link, which basically puts you back under better governance and control for your SharePoint site, because it's just using the SharePoint permissions rather than this kind of vague anyone link, which is floating around and enabling anyone in the organization to be able to access that file. That fixes the problem of when someone types into Copilot, what is the salary of a senior engineer? It's only the people of that SharePoint site that would basically be able to get an answer to that question rather than just anyone in the organization. So back on the reports area, so this is showing any sharing links, not just the ones which are shared to anyone, but again, we can choose to use filters if we wanted to. So you could filter by the file name, file type, also things like the link type. So where it's been shared with anyone, people in your organization, internal people, internal and external people. So you could choose to use these filters. And now we can see documents which are being shared both internally and externally. So the oversharing problem kind of goes outside of that Copilot. It's also information that could have been shared externally as well, that you weren't aware that was being shared externally. So again, information could be falling into the hands of people that you didn't really know had access to your files. So you can see there are things like onboarding checklists, training plans. Maybe this is being shared with external people before they're joining. But you can also see there's a file here which is the Q3 2025 budget review. Now, that really shouldn't be shared externally. I don't think there's any reason that should be shared externally. So that's the type of thing that I would flag to my customer and say, this is the type of file which I don't think should be external. Is that right? And once you've kind of identified those types of patterns, you can then move into the next phase, which is, well, you've identified and you've fixed the initial problems, but how do we prevent this from happening in the future? We don't want to just go through one exercise where we tidy everything up and then it all just goes back out the window within weeks. We need to put things in place to prevent it from happening again in the future. So this is where we have this policies area. So I'm just going to move out of here. And I can actually create brand new policies by clicking create new policy, and I can choose to apply it to sites, groups, OneDrives, or sharing links. So for example, I'm going to click on SharePoint sites, and you can see here, the trigger is once a day, find all workspaces that match following conditions. So this is the conditions area. We can say any of the associated workloads, which are SharePoint sites, and then we can add rules to them. So this might be a display name is equal to something. It could be content size, where it's using anyone links. There's all sorts of different types of filters we could potentially use. Going back to that problem that we were talking about before with a job description that been shared and we didn't know that, we could put a policy in place to prevent job descriptions from being shared out again to everybody. And how we do this is with a policy. We've got our new sharing links policy. We can see the trigger is once a day, find all sharing links that match the following conditions. So we've got conditions like the file name contains job description, and the link type is people in your organization can view, people in your org can edit, but we can click on that and we can add more. So we can say anyone can view. So this literally means anyone who has the links. So they don't even have to be people inside of our organization. So let's select that. And now you can see we've got two sharing links matched. So if we would click on that, that would actually open up another tab where we could see, well, what are those documents which are currently applied to this? So these are the ones that we obviously want to quickly revoke because it's something which is against our new policy. Then you can see our action is delete the sharing links, remove link-based access to shared content. Now, as I say, this will run once a day. So we can save that as a draft, or we could launch immediately. And that makes sure that job descriptions are never shared on a broad basis. They can still be shared to individual people. So when they're being used in that kind of HR setting, they can be shared to other HR employees, but they're not being shared to everyone. It's not going to fall into the wrong hand. But it really depends on your organization. First, you need to identify what are the patterns of work, and then identify the gaps of where oversharing takes place. So another example of this is very common with marketing teams. Maybe they're sharing information so anyone can view it, but typically it might be that that information could become outdated, or it's something that should only be shared for a short period of time. So you can see here we can set a SharePoint site. So the condition is it's marketing site. The link kind is anyone can view the information, and the link is created on in the past 7 days. Then after that, the action will take place, which is deleting the sharing links, which basically just means you have set a timer. Now you can set expiration dates manually when you're creating the sharing link, but to be honest with you, no one ever does that. So you end up with this kind of vast amount of sharing links which never truly expire. So this means you can set your own policies of, in certain situations, how long a link should actually last for. So all of the tools of ShareGate Protect really helped me identify the oversharing problems for my customer. And to be honest, I think it's something that I would recommend that you take a look at yourself. If you want more information, there's a link in the description below to get your hands on a demo of ShareGate. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. If you have any questions at all, use the comments feed below, and check out the video that's on screen now, as I think you'll find it really useful.